He will set up an abomination that causes desolation until the end that is decreed is poured out on him. Let me just quickly explain what this prophecy says will happen. The Antichrist is going to confirm a covenant, which is interesting just in and of itself. Why? Because there's already a peace agreement on the table. All he does, again, is flick the switch and confirm it. See? Now, once he signs this peace agreement between Palestinians and Jews, the Jews will then be allowed to, as part of the agreement, rebuild their temple. All thanks to the Antichrist. And the Jews will think this is their Christ. This is their Messiah. So he's going to, no prime minister, no president, and no one in between has ever been able to, nor will they be able to actually pull this off. Now, when he signs the agreement, allows the Jews to rebuild the temple, at the midpoint, at the middle of the 7 years, 3.5 years, he's going to commit the abomination that causes desolation. What in the world is the abomination of desolation? It's when most Bible scholars and teachers believe the Antichrist will commit an abomination in the Jews' newly rebuilt temple by sacrificing an unclean animal in the most holy of holies. And the Jews, when they see that, will freak out. I know that's not a very, biblical, pastoral, King James term, but that's in the JDV. And thus they shall freaketh outeth. And so they're not only going to freaketh outeth, they're going to getteth out of, and they're going to flee to, most believe, Petra, where the Lord will protect them for the last 3.5 years of the tribulation. Petra is in modern-day Jordan. It is a most interesting place, one of the 7 wonders of the world. My wife and I had an opportunity to go there back in the 90s, and it is a colossal place. And it is a rock city, and they will be saved because, again, the purpose of the tribulation is for the salvation of the Jewish nation. I noticed a lot more bumper stickers out there that Doug made up. So the Antichrist is going to sign this 7-year agreement, and here's what's going to happen. They're going to now share Jerusalem because they have a pseudo two-state solution, and without disturbing the Dome of the Rock on the Temple Mount, here's a superimposed graphic of what the temple could look like were it to be rebuilt. And by the way, it's believed that this is the exact site of the temple, which it has to be rebuilt on the exact site, and that the Jews could indeed rebuild their temple and not disturb the Dome of the Rock. And this is when all of the world religions come together under the rule and reign of this Antichrist. And even now in Jerusalem, you have the 3 major religions worshiping on 3 different days. Friday is Islam. Saturday, Shabbat, or the Jewish Sabbath. And then Sunday is the, of course, Christian, first day of the week celebration. So you have Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. Now, he's going to bring them all together, and they're all going to be able to worship whatever God they want, apparently. But apparently, he's going to, at 3.5 years, at the midpoint, demand that he be worshiped. See, Satan has always wanted to be worshiped. That's why he was cast out of heaven, because he wanted to ascend his throne above the Most High. Why? So he could be worshiped. So he's going to seemingly solve this problem, and then you'll have this 2-state solution, Jews and Palestinians living side by side in peace and security. It's interesting that the Apostle Paul, writing to the Thessalonian church in his first letter, chapter 5, verse 3, said basically this, I'll paraphrase, when they start using 2 words, peace and security, sudden destruction will come upon them like a woman in labor. 9/11, when President George W. Bush addressed the nation after the attacks on the nation, he made this statement using those 2 exact words. Peace and safety, peace and security. In the original Greek of the New Testament, it's the Greek word asphalia, which can be translated security or safety. And it's really peace in the Middle East and homeland security. So that's the clarion call. It's what they're craving, and the Antichrist will seemingly satisfy them with this, solving it with this two-state solution. There's an interesting prophecy one chapter earlier in Daniel chapter 8, verses 23 through 25. He says, "And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up." This is, actually it says NIV on the screen, it's King James, but again, speaking of the Antichrist, "And his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through his policy also shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify in himself in his heart," and watch this, "and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes," speaking of Jesus, "but he shall be broken without hand." In other words, that's the final battle, and the Lord just takes him out. Interesting. He will destroy many by peace. Do you know that in Islam, this is taught by and was actually practiced by Muhammad himself? Make peace with your enemy, then destroy them. In Islam and in the Palestinian people's, proclamation, they say, in Arabic, not English, "Peace for us means the destruction of Israel." After Muhammad Saladin, make peace with your enemy, and then you destroy them. This is why, among other things, I believe Islam will play a significant role in the final one world religion under the rule of the Antichrist. So, not only will he solve the Palestinian problem, as it were, but he'll solve the economic crisis and problem that is just now, I believe, beginning to surface. Can I say it this way? We ain't seen nothing yet. And please don't be so naive as to believe that the financial crisis that we're experiencing here in the United States is exclusive to the United States. Do you understand with globalization how interwoven all of the world's economies are? If the dollar collapses, so goes the yen, so goes even the euro, and potentially this could usher in, I believe, the one world monetary system, which Revelation 13 says the Antichrist will control, and without this mark, you will neither be able to buy or sell. We've got an economic crisis of biblical proportions, pun intended, that we're facing as a nation, even now. And I see it getting worse. I see it happening very quickly. And the time will come when the nations, all of the nations' economies will collapse. Why else would the whole world agree to and even accept a one world monetary system? And likely it will be cashless. So some students of Bible prophecy have done just a remarkable amount of research and study on this, and there is already in place the technology to do this. It's only waiting the Antichrist's unveiling and then the subsequent acceptance of the people in the world. So he'll, solve this. And now we're not going to look at this today because of our obvious time constraints, but Lord willing, maybe next Sunday we can look more at the whole financial aspect of how this ties in to his rule over the one world economic system.